Divine One. Thanks for joining me for today's episode of Embodied Divinity. Let's take some deep breaths in through our nose, out through your mouth, and really just sink into this moment. Continue to breathe as you listen with me. I want you to remember that the deeper your breath is, the more in alignment with the universe you are. When we breathe, we create ease in our system. We create clarity of mind. We come to our heart center. When we breathe, our body starts to regulate. We can deeply ground from this space. We have a very heightened conscious connection from this space. So if you do nothing else, let's breathe with intention. Breathe with depth. Breathe consciously. Breath is so important, especially with what I'm going to talk about today. It's one of those tools that you always have available to you. It's one of those things that you can always have gratitude for. No matter what you're going through in your life, you can come back to gratitude for the fact that you are breathing here and now. Breath is so powerful to the human existence, literally life-giving to every cell, organ, every piece and part of us. It's something many take for granted. When we breathe deep, we feel inner peace. It's the one tool you always have in your pocket to bring you out of any form of anxiety. It can increase your energy flow, and it can remind you of the value of this life and the fact that you are living and breathing here and now. Breath is a miracle. You don't even have to think about it. Your body breathes. Your consciousness is constantly working within you, sending the right messages, transmissions to your body so that you inhale and exhale. It takes that oxygen and it circulates it throughout every piece and part of your body. It's a miracle. And remembering that your breath is a miracle, that your existence here is a miracle, can create so much peace. I know that life doesn't always go the way that your mind and ego think it ought to. But as you've heard in the last 2 episodes, life is happening for and through us. And it's how we ride those waves, how we respond to the things that come up for us that create not only our present moment experience, but our future ones too. There are so many streams of ideas, of programming, of ways of being that are thrown at you every day. And it's those distortions that bring you out of this powerful center. It's that deep program of maybe I have to have this certain lifestyle to be seen as successful. That pulls you out of the present moment when your body is just happy being here now. It's the same voice that pulls you out of that beautiful moment you might be having with your child, and your mind wanders, drifts somewhere else to something seemingly more important. It's the mind that brings you out of the beauty that you could be experiencing in the here and now. And the mind and the ego, they aren't bad. In fact, in order to have this embodied experience, we need them. But we need them working for and through us. I oftentimes use characters in The Office to speak about the mind, the ego, and the higher self. If you're familiar with The Office, Michael Scott is the ego. And Dwight, his best friend, is the mind, and we'll call corporate the higher self. Now, the mind and the ego are really good friends. So when something happens, maybe the higher self gives some guidance to the ego. Sometimes the mind gets more upset than the ego. Have you ever had a friend who gets more upset at a situation you're experiencing than you do? Like they're defensive, like they want you to know they support you through their own upset. So we have Michael, the ego, that gets this news and is upset about it. But Dwight, the mind, feeds that upset and they spiral and they create all this chaos. When really corporate or the higher self is just saying, hey, we see the way you've been operating and we still need you here. We still want you here. We still value your expertise. And there's an easier way for all of us to work in harmony together. We need the mind and the ego. We truly do. And we need them on our side, the side of the higher self. That's why meditation, that's why breath, that's why stillness is so important to us. It's showing us what's happening up there. Meditation, a lot of times at the beginning, is simply observing the thoughts that move through your mind. I have my clients start immediately as they start to work with me, observing the things that trigger them, that create dis-ease within them. It's by becoming aware of it, the way that it works, we can see what our ego and mind need to hear from us, what words need to be spoken, what actions need to be taken, so that they can join us and we can collectively work in harmony. I call this podcast Embodied Divinity because we need both here in this human experience. As spiritual beings, we need that higher, beautiful consciousness. And we need the mind and the ego, the physical body, the experiences we have here. And it's when we're in tune with that higher self, with that universal consciousness, that the experiences we have here can be seen as just that. Experiences we are having that are allowing us and our higher self, our source, to evolve. But we get so focused on this reality that we forget the bigger picture, or some people get so focused on the bigger picture that they forget this present moment physical reality. We need both in harmony, fully entrenched in the experience of humanness, hearts open to humanity, and a powerful conscious knowing of what we are and what this moment truly means. It's an experience you are having. And it doesn't have to downplay the depth of it. If you're experiencing something hard, experience it fully, knowing you are evolving through this present moment experience. But the way we need to catch ourselves is when we start creating stories. When you get triggered by something, a lot of people, instead of just seeing it as an experience, when she said that, I felt this way. I can see there's still something within me that I'd like to reparent, that I'd like to work on bringing into light. But what a lot of people do is they say, what she said really hurt me. She must hate me. I must be bad. She's trying to betray me. I must be unworthy. We create all these attachments and stories. And it's in those attachments and stories that aren't actually happening. They're just assumptions from our mind based on something from the past or a projected perceived future that our ego uses to dismantle us. It's when we get lost in those stories we've created that we miss out on the here and now. You can experience grief, betrayal, heartbreak. You can feel it fully, and you don't have to suffer through it. You don't have to create all these stories about yourself or the other person. It's simply an experience, a sensation that you're witnessing, that you're feeling. It's moving through you. It's not what you are. I've said this so many times to you guys, but I really want you to listen. If you can observe it, you are not it. I can observe my hand. I am not my hand. I know that this vessel is serving me. It makes my existence here possible. I'm grateful for this vessel that houses my spirit. I treat it good with good, nurturing food. I regulate my nervous system so my body can work for me, but I am not my body. When I die, when my physical body dies, my consciousness, what's speaking through me now, will always live. Whether it's in another incarnation or whether it turns into light and particles and substance, this consciousness will always live. I am not my body. When I can observe those thoughts in my head, which you can all do if you take a moment and notice what's moving through your mind when you go into stillness, you are not those thoughts in your head. It's the way that the mind is responding to the consciousness moving through you. It's either just allowing it to flow like I'm doing here. It's moving through me. There's no attachment to the words I'm saying. I'm simply allowing them to pour out of me. I could start to filter it through everything in the past. Oh my gosh, when you said that word in the past, you really upset that lady and you're going to lose a client and blah, blah, blah. And I would stifle my voice. I wouldn't be able to deliver this message to you. If I was focused on the future and what if everything I'm saying is going to allow people to be more of my clients or get them to like me or trust me, I wouldn't be able to give you this pure, clean message. I can't be focused on the past or the future. I'm letting consciousness move through me. That's why the work that I do, that's why my embodied divinity program, my divine union program, these different inner child tools that I give you, all of the tools and programs that I've created are to help you become that clear and perfect channel so that you are not taking all this beautiful conscious information and creating distortions and suffering through it. Instead, you're able to live fully here in this present moment, breathing deeply. And when life happens for and through you, you experience it as exactly what it is and nothing more, nothing less. You simply say, ah, this is an experience I'm having. Ah, this grief is moving through me. Ah, this joy is wonderful. But it's when we try to create those stories. Ah, this joy is here. I'm so excited about this joy. What did I do to get it? How did it come this way? What if it leaves? What if I mess this up? Those are all the ways the ego tries to bring you out of the magic. Same thing with heartbreak. What if this never goes away? I totally deserve this. If I hadn't have done this, or if I had done this, and we create all these stories and the suffering continues instead of just, oh, I'm experiencing this heartbreak and it really hurts. And that's okay. And that's okay that I feel this. Ah, I'm experiencing this joy and it's so wonderful. And I love this feeling that I'm feeling in this moment. And what a beautiful experience of joy. And you let yourself live it out. We've got to pull away from all of these stories. And the best way I know how to teach you to do that without working with you one-on-one is by telling you to come back to your breath, to breathe. When you start to feel the stories taking off, breathe, come back to the moment, find your center. This is an experience I am having. It doesn't define me. It's not what I am. I am not this anxiety that I'm experiencing. I am simply experiencing anxiety. I am not this heartbreak that I am experiencing. I am simply experiencing heartbreak. This heartbreak doesn't define me. I don't attach my worth to this heartbreak. I allow myself to feel and experience this heartbreak. Whatever it is that you're feeling, let it be here now. And as you breathe and as you find your center, you'll have that deep knowing of how to move forward. You'll have that beautiful inspirational nudge. And whatever it is, you trust it and you move forward without attaching stories to the past, to the present, to the future. You simply let it be here now. Letting that divine inspiration move through you as life happens through you. So let's breathe again, in through your nose, out through your mouth. Notice how deep and conscious your breath has been since I began speaking. Was it easy to get lost in these words and not come back to your breath? Did you stay conscious and attuned, and were you able to really open to all of this information? As things arose within you as I spoke, did you create stories and ideas? Or did you simply allow that energy to move within you? In my Embodied Divinity program, it's one of my favorite mentorship containers. In 6 months, we go through every energy center. We look at the way that your thought patterns, your attachments, your ways of being were formed. And we begin to plug in as we look at the trauma, as we look at the experiences, as we look at the distortions, and we begin to clean out and fine tune so that by the time we end our work together, you are clear, fully able to trust yourself, fully able to channel this beautiful knowing that's available to all of us in every moment, and live life according to your highest self in the present moment. If you're interested in working with me one-on-one, you can find my link in the bio. You can just reply to wherever you're watching this, drop a comment, and we'll reach out to you and create a way for us to work together in sacred union. You don't have to move through this on your own. I know that you can. I know that as you return to your breath, as you find the ease, you can make all the choices that are right and perfect for you. And if you choose to invest in yourself and your growth, I'll be right here with you, walking you through it as you truly embody your divinity and allow this human experience to be a powerful spiritual classroom where every moment, every sensation is filled with awe and wonder and evolution for your soul. I'm so proud of you for being here, for listening, for taking time to invest in your own soul's growth. And I know that if you heard this message today, it's beginning to create a ripple within your system. And you're going to start to acknowledge the experiences that you're having as just that. Let's take another deep breath. If you can, create a smile on your face in this moment. Create a smile and allow all of those beautiful endorphins to release into your mind. Notice the vibrations of joy pouring from me into you. Know that you are held, loved, and cherished in this and all moments. And as you align your breath, you align with the universe. I love you. I see you. As always, breathe deep and plan on miracles. And I'll talk to you next week.